Hi, I'm Tanya, and welcome to Faithful Flow. This is my boy Wyatt, resting in the corner. Had a request for a hips and shoulders class, so that's what we're going to work towards today. I'm going to work up towards Pigeon Pose with an option to take it into Mermaid. So we are going to get started in a supported fish, which I'll teach with 2 blocks. So I'd like you to have 2 blocks. If you don't have blocks, it's fine. You can use a pillow or a bolster. And then when I do Mermaid Pose, I like to do it with a little bit of lift kind of under my hips. So if you have some sort of a blanket or a towel, you can grab that. Just makes the pose a little more accessible for you. So we're going to get started on our backs in a supported fish with our blocks. So that's 1 block lengthwise along our spine and the other one across so that we can support our head. So you want a little bit of room between your tailbone and this block here. So it's really kind of supporting the mid-thoracic spine, and then the second block can be supporting your head. So that can be at the same height. It can be a height higher if you need less opening, or it can be a height lower if you've got a little more opening in your chest. And then legs can come anywhere that's comfortable. So they can stay bent, they can knock together. You can butterfly them with the soles of the feet and the knees nice and wide, whatever feels good for you today. Let's go ahead and exhale everything out and just kind of sink down over these blocks here. And then as you're inhaling, think about flaring or expanding the ribs wide a little bit and forward. Our chest is already open because of the pose that we're in, so you might find that breathing is a little bit harder. We'll be here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And if you've closed your eyes, you're welcome to go ahead and flutter them open. We're just going to roll onto either side, set your blocks aside and out of the way, and then come back onto our backs. And once you're on your back here, go ahead and bend your knees, stack your feet on the floor, and just allow the knees to fall from side to side. So kind of windshield wipering them side to side here. And once more. All right, and then we're going to find a figure 4 on the left side. So left leg extends long up towards the ceiling, flex the foot, externally rotate and bring that left ankle on top of the right thigh. Send the left knee away from you and then pull both legs in towards your chest. Few breaths here. If you'd like a little gentle rocking motion from side to side, you're welcome to add that. And then we're going to take this kind of from this passive pose into an active variation. So forearms are going to come underneath the leg. You're going to kind of pull this left leg in towards your chest. Extend your right leg long. It's going to hover up off the mat. You can flex the foot and then lift your shoulders up off the mat. So adding some core work to it. We'll be here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, releasing that, unwinding. You can give both legs a little squeeze and then setting the left foot on the floor. Right leg extends up to the ceiling, flex the foot, externally rotate the leg in that hip socket. Right knee comes onto the right thigh. Send the right knee away from you. Right ankle onto the left thigh and then pull both legs in. When you got your rights and your lefts going on there, sometimes it can be a little much. And if you like this little side-to-side rocking motion, you're welcome to do that. A few more breaths here. And then you can extend your hands and your forearms under this right leg, hover it in kind of like a forklift. Extend this left leg long. It's going to float up off the mat. Flex the foot. Lift the shoulders. Breathing here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Releasing that down, unwinding the legs, giving both a little squeeze. And then we're going to rock and roll up to a seat and find some eagle arm lift. So I'm just going to spin to face you. You can stay facing the front of the mat. We're going to start with extending the arms out to a big stretch to a T. And then right arm comes underneath left eagle arms. Bring the forearms perpendicular to the floor. And then just think about lifting and lowering through the arms. So we're lifting up for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then release the arms wide, big stretch. And then other side, left arm underneath, eagle arms. Pull the forearms away from the face, lifting and lowering the whole arms for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release that, extending the arms. And then coming onto our hands and knees for a tabletop pose. And we're going to take it into a thread the needle. So right arm reaches up towards the ceiling, big stretch up. And then send it through right shoulder, right cheek down onto the mat. Think about bumping the hips to the right a bit. So the hips are going to be squarish. The twist is happening through the thoracic spine up to the neck and head. Breathing here for 3, 2, 1. Pressing down into this left hand. Unwind right arm all the way up to the sky. Big stretch up. And then set it down. Tabletop pose. Other side. Left arm reaches up. Big stretch up first. And then send it through. Left cheek. Left shoulder on the mat. Bump the hips to the left a bit. Allowing the twist to happen in the back, not the hips. So through the ribs, through the shoulders, and then through the head. Breathing here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Unwind left arm back up through the sky and set it back down, tabletop. Take a breath here. Inhale and exhale. And then we're just going to make our way all the way to our bellies. We're going to find some cobra breath. So fingertips hands can come underneath the shoulders. Kind of wag the tail so lower back is nice and relaxed. Lift and lower each leg to make sure they're nice and long and extended and internally rotated so they're nice and neutral. And then lift up through the shoulders, coming up to a cobra pose. And then release back down. Again, inhaling, lift up. Cobra. Exhaling, release back down. We'll take that once more. Cobra coming up. And then releasing back down. And from here, we'll make our way into down dog. So curl the toes under. You can come through your knees, lift up. If you'd rather do a push-up, you're welcome to do that. But we'll meet here in a down dog. You can bend the knees, kind of wag the tail or pedal out the feet. Take a few breaths here. Breathing for 3, 2, 1. We're going to make our way to the front of the mat. So take several little steps. So think about plugging the feet into the hip socket as you go. Sorry, not the feet, but the legs into the hip socket. And then once you get to the front, bend the knees, grab the elbows, release the head and neck. Find this nice ragdoll. We'll be here for 3, 2, 1. Release the hands down to dangle and then roll up through the spine, coming all the way up to stand. And then we're going to find a variation of our salutations today. So feet you might find be a little more stable with your feet hips width apart today. Put a little gentle bend in the knee. We're going to open our arms to the side to start with. So inhale, open the chest, arms wide, arch the back, gaze up. And then exhale, round the spine, give yourself a little hug. From here, inhale, big stretch up, arms overhead. Exhale, dive forward, forward fold. We're going to put a bend in the left knee. Right arm's going to sweep back and up and around for a big stretch. And then switching sides. So right leg bends, left arm sweeps back and up and around. and back down. Inhale, we'll take a normal halfway lift, flatten the back. Exhale, plant the hands, step or hop back. Take your flow. We'll meet in down dog. Inhale, lifting the chest, lifting the shoulders, up dog or cobra. Exhale, hips up and back. Breathing here for 5. 4, think about pressing the ground away from you. Legs are neutral. 2, 1. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, you're going to step or hop up to the front of the mat. Halfway lift, lengthen the spine. Exhale, fold. Inhale, stand up, arm sweep all the way up. And exhale, hands through to heart center. Now, if you're more comfortable with your feet hips width apart, go ahead and separate them again. We're going to do that modified flow one more time. So a little gentle bend in the knees, arms open wide, big stretch, open the chest, hands behind you, arch the back. And then exhale, little hug, opposite arm on top. Around the spine, tuck the chin. Inhale, big stretch up, arms overhead. Exhale, dive forward, forward fold. Bend the left knee, right arm sweeps up and around for a twist. Circle of the arm, right into the other side, bend the right leg, left arm sweeps up and around, and back through to center. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen the spine. Exhale, plant the hands, step or hop, flow it out. Inhaling, up dog or cobra. Exhaling, hips up or back, down dog. Breathing here. Little bit of internal rotation with the legs. So the heels are hidden behind the toes. For 3, 2, 1. We're going to lift our right leg up and back. 3-legged dog. Inhale here. Exhale, shift forward, shoulders over, wrist, right knee to right elbow. Inhale, 3-legged dog. Exhale, shift forward, knee to chest. Once more, 3-legged dog. Exhale, shift forward, knee to chest. We're going to hold here. Hold for 3. Get nice and tight. 2, 1. Set this right foot down on the ground. We're finding a crescent lunge. So the ball of the left foot still on the ground. Heel is lifted. Arms come up. Crescent lunge. All right, get nice and steady in your crescent. Think about powering up through this left quad. So we've got some kind of movement reaching up. We're not sinking down too much. And then you can begin to cactus the arms, open the chest a bit. Inhale, releasing those elbows back behind you. Exhale, you can bend this left knee as you round and bring your forearms towards each other. So inhale, goalpost in the arms, opening the chest. Exhale, rounding, bringing them together. 3 more. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. You've got 1 more. Inhale. And exhale. Back to a regular crescent lunge. Cactus the arms. Extend them up overhead. And then hands come down to the ground. Right leg lifts up and back into this 3-legged dog. You can bend the knee, stack the hip, maybe kind of look for the foot in your peripheral vision. You can stay here or shift forward, shoulders come over wrist, and find a wild thing. Right foot behind you, right arm overhead. You can stay here or add a little deeper chest opening, bending the elbow, bringing the right hand to the nape of the neck, and then lifting up and out of that shoulder joint. Breathing here nice and steady for 3, 2, 1. Unwind both hands to the ground, back to a 3-legged dog, right leg up and back. And then set it down, down dog. Take a breath, inhale. And exhale. Other side, left leg lifts up and back, 3-legged dog. Inhale here. Exhale, shift forward, left knee to left arm. Inhale, 3-legged dog. Exhale, knee to arm. Once more, 3-legged dog. Exhale, knee to arm. Holding here for 3. Nice and tight. 2, 1. Then it sets down between your hands. Our back heel is lifted. Come up to stand. crescent lunge. So find your crescent lunge here first, lifting up through this right thigh, powering up through the right quad for some stability. And then you can cactus the arms. From here, allow the forearms to press back, open the chest, maybe gaze up. And a little bend in this back leg as you pull the forearms together round the spine. Inhale, opening up. Exhale, tucking and rounding. Inhale, opening. Exhale, tucking and rounding. A few more. Inhale. And exhale. You got 2 left. Inhale. And exhale. Last one. Inhale. Exhale, forearms towards each other. Back to a forearm crescent, goalpost crescent. Extend the arms up, regular crescent. And then hands to the ground. Left leg lifts up and back, 3-legged dog. You can bend the knee, stack the hip, look past this right arm. See if you can see this left foot in your peripheral vision. Stay here or shift forward, shoulders over the wrist. Left foot steps behind you. Wild thing. Lift the hips. Left arm extends long. Stay here, add a little more shoulder opening, bending this left elbow wide, hand to the nape of the neck. Lift up through the armpit. Breathing here for 3, 2, 1. Unwinding back to a 3-legged dog. Left leg up and back. And set it down, down dog. Take a breath. Let it go. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, bend the knees, step or hop up to the front. Halfway lift, flatten the back. And fold. Inhale, stand up. Arm sweep all the way up. Exhale, hands move to heart center. Pause here, take a breath. Let it go. All right, we'll move through that modified sun salutation once more to get us into our next flow. So, little bend in the knees, arms nice and wide, open the chest, look up, and then tuck the chin, round the spine, little hug here. Inhale, come up to stand, arms up. Exhale, dive forward, forward fold. Bend the left knee, right arm sweeps you up, big twist. And then switching, bend the right leg, left arm sweeps you up for a big twist. Unwind to center. Inhale, halfway lift and lengthen. Exhale, plant your hands, flow it out. Going through high plank, low plank. Inhaling, up dog or cobra. Exhaling, hips up and back, down dog. Take a breath. Stay here for the exhale. Right leg lifts up and back, 3-legged dog. Big step forward, we're finding a warrior 2. So right foot steps between the hands, pinwheel the hands up and around, warrior 2. Now you want a nice deep bend in this front leg. Arms are parallel to the ground. Gaze forward. We'll stay here for a few breaths and then we'll add some movement to kind of get into the hips a bit more. So if you'd rather stay, you can stay. Otherwise, straighten the right leg, gaze up, arms up, and then back to warrior 2. Straighten and arms up. Back to warrior 2. And once more, straighten and arms up. Back to warrior 2. Take a breath. Stay with the exhale. And then we're going to reverse it, right arm up. You're going to grab your right forearm with your left wrist. Little self-assist here to lift up and lean towards the back. Nice full breath in. Stay for the exhale. And then pinwheel the hands down and around. Take your flow or go straight to down dog. Take a breath. Let it go. Left leg lifts up, 3-legged dog, big stretch. And then big step forward, finding warrior 2. Left foot plants between your hands. Pinwheel the hands up and around. Warrior 2, nice deep bend in this front leg. Now gazing over your extended front arm. Hips and chest are going to be mostly open to the side. A few breaths here. And then your choice, you can stay or you can add this movement. Inhale, reaching the arms up. Exhale back to warrior two. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale, warrior two. Once more, reaching up. Warrior two. Holding here. And then we've got that reverse. Left arm up. You can grab the left forearm with the right hand. Lift up and then lean to the back. Full breath in. Stay here for the exhale. Once more, full breath. Stay for the exhale. Release back to warrior two. Pinwheel those hands down and around and take a flow or just come to down dog. Take a breath. Let it go. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, step or hop up to the front of the mat. Halfway lift. And fold. Inhale, stand up. Arm sweep all the way up. Exhale, hands through the heart. Let's pause here. Take a breath. Let it go. All right, we've got some balancing. So if you are more comfortable balancing, stepping off your mat, just finding a hard surface, you're welcome to. We're going to start with standing on our left leg. So right leg is going to come in and up, tree pose. You can use your hands to help you, but I'd like you to find your hips and make sure both hips are facing forward. When you're ready, hands to heart, maybe grow them overhead. Breathing here for 3, 2, 1. Hands can move back through the heart center. We're moving to that awkward chair. So right ankle on top of left thigh. Bend the standing leg. As you sink your hips, think about lifting up through the chest. Now hands can here be anywhere that's comfortable. Breathing for 3, 2, 1, release that, come up to stand, take a breath. Let it go. All right, standing on the right leg now, left leg lifts up, tree pose, any height. And then hands can come towards heart center. Once you're feeling nice and stable, maybe grow your tree. Breathing here for 3, 2, 1. Hands can come back through to heart center. And then left ankle crosses on top of right thigh. Sink the hips on this standing leg. As they're sinking, lifting up through the chest. So we've got this kind of opposing motion, lengthening through our spine. Breathing here for 3, 2, 1, releasing that, meaning back in mountain pose. If you stepped off your mat, you can come back onto it. Take a breath. Let it go. Once more with that modified flow. So feet can move to hips width apart. Open the arms, open the chest, big stretch. And then slightly bend the knees, round the spine, give yourself a little hug. Inhale, reach the arms up, big stretch up. Exhale, dive forward, forward fold. Bend the left leg, right arm, big sweep up and around. And then switch, bending the right leg, left arm, big sweep up and around. Inhale, lift and lengthen through the spine. Exhale, plant your hands, take your flow. We'll meet in down dog. Inhale, lifting and lengthening. Exhaling, hips up and back, down dog. Take a breath here. Let it go. And then we can come down onto our forearms. So forearms straight to the ground for dolphin pose. Think about sending your chest through your arms back towards your legs. Breathing here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Knees come to the ground. We're going to find a puppy pose. So knees directly under the hips, and then just allow the chest to melt down towards the ground. Palms can slide forward. Maybe chin comes to the ground or forehead. Several deep breaths here. Trying to keep the inhales nice and slow and full, and the exhales matching their pace. Last full breath in and out. And then we're just going to slide our hips back, find a child's pose, arms forward for a few breaths. Breathing here for 3, 2, 1. Walking your hands in, lifting the shoulders. And from here, we're just going to pop our feet forward. We're going to find some deer pose switches. So feet are going to come wide, maybe even wider than the sides of the mat. And you're going to allow the knees to fall to the right, and then up and over to the left, and then again to the right, and up and over to the left. And this time when they come to the right, you're going to stay. Now I'm just going to spin on my mat. You can stay facing in the direction, but you're trying to make this kind of Z-sit pattern with the legs here. We're going to sit up really tall, so think about lifting up through the ribs, and then it's a little twist, and you're going to fold over this right leg. So think about bringing the center of your chest over the center of the right leg. Right hand can bend fingertips to the ground for support, and then walk this left hand far away from you. Several breaths here. We'll be here for an additional 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lifting up through the chest. And then we're just switching sides. So bringing the feet forward and nice and wide again. Allowing the knees to fall to one side, and then the other, and then up and over to one side, and then the other. And the next time your knees come over to the left, we're going to stay there, sit up nice and tall, lift the hip points, a little twist with the upper body, and then fold over this left leg. Left hand can support you, right arm's going to crawl away from you. Breathing here. Several full breaths for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Walking that right hand in, using it to help you sit up, unwind onto the hips, bring the knees up, and then we're going to make our way into a pigeon pose. If you have that blanket and you'd like to put it, we're going to start with pigeon on our right side. So I like to have a blanket kind of here under my right hip, and then I extend my left leg long behind me. Now we're not going to sleep our pigeon yet. We'll have that coming up in a moment. But first, think about lifting up. Take a peek at your back leg. You want to make sure that it's nice and neutral, so the top of the leg is what's on the mat. Sit up nice and tall, and then we're actually going to even just walk our hands out behind us, adding a little bit of a back bend here. For 3, 2, 1. You can release the back bend. Now, to make our way into Mermaid Pose, if your shin is normally really far forward in Pigeon Pose, you may want to bring it in a little closer to your groin. That just gives you a little more lift and range of motion to make it into Mermaid. So for that, you're going to bend your back leg. Think about bringing this left heel up. So first stop might just be here, grabbing the foot. If you've got some more room to grow, you can begin to bend this in a little deeper, and you're going to bring your left foot into the crease of your left forearm here. Then begin to send the chest forward towards the front of the room. Extend the right arm up and around, bend at the right elbow, and reach back and take a hold of the hand. And you're in mermaid pose. Now, once you're here, think about kind of squaring off to the front of the mat. We'll be here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now coming out really slowly, releasing this right arm. And then you're going to release this left leg. Both hands can come to the ground, and then we'll sleep our pigeon. I know everybody wants a nice little sleepy pigeon, so inhale here. Exhale, you can bring your forearms to the ground, rest your forehead on your hands, and take a few breaths here. We'll be here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Walking your hands underneath you, lift your chest, and then you can just kind of rotate off this blanket pad that you're using, bring it over to the other side, and we're going to take pigeon on the left side. So left hip is coming up onto your padding here, right leg's coming back behind you. Couple of breaths here and just this lifted pigeon. You can take a peek at this back leg, make sure it's nice and neutral, top of the knee, top of the foot's on the mat. And then you can begin to walk your hands back, adding a little bit of a back bend. Breathing here for 3, 2, 1. Walking the hands back in. You can stay here or begin to make your way and to play with that mermaid pose if you'd like to. So bending this back leg, you can reach back, grab the ankle with the ankle with the hand to start with. Grabbing the ankle with the foot would be pretty interesting there. Stay here, or you can begin to bend it a little deeper. Bring that right foot into the crease of the right elbow. Once you have that, think about squaring things off towards the front again. Stay here, or left arm can sweep up, bending at the elbow, reaching back, taking a hold of this other hand. And if it doesn't reach, that's fine. This is still a mermaid pose. We'll be here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release this left arm. Release the right leg, nice and slowly and gingerly. Both hands to the ground. Take a breath here. And then if you want to find your full pigeon, you're welcome to. Forearms to the ground, sleep your pigeon. Maybe tick-tock this front leg a little further forward so it's more parallel to the front of the mat. Breathing here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lifting your shoulders, walking your hands underneath you, lifting up, moving this little prop out of the way. And then we're just going to meet on our bellies for a straight jacket pose. So coming down onto your bellies, you're going to lift your shoulders. You're going to cross your right arm underneath you. Your left arm's going to cross on top of that. Now, what you're working for is to have your arms cross essentially underneath your shoulders. So sometimes I see this done up here like this, which isn't going to give you the same shoulder stretch. So try and keep those arms crossed underneath the shoulders. And then once you're there, begin to walk the arms out wide. So it's kind of this wiggle, wiggle, wiggle motion. You can wag the tail to make sure the hips are nice and released. And then tuck your chin down. It can rest on the top of this top bicep, or you can put a block underneath the forehead. Be here for a few more breaths. Now you can stay just like this, or if you'd like to add a little hip stretch into it, left leg can come out to the side like a half frog. So that left knee is coming in line with that hip. And then same thing with the tuck of the chin. For 3, 2, 1. Leaving your right hand where it is. Unwind your left hand. It comes underneath your left shoulder. We're taking this into a supine twist. So think about lifting up through this left hip and then all the way up and over into a supine twist. Once you're there, unwind your arms out to a T. You can even give yourself a little self-assist. Right hand can find the outside of the right hip, lift up and pull away. Breathing here. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. From here, unwind back onto your bellies. And then same thing, but this time we're going to cross our left arm underneath first and our right arm on top of it. Check to make sure that the arms are kind of snuggled up underneath the shoulders, and then tuck the head. A few breaths here. We'll add the leg on in a moment. Full breaths in and out. Again, a full breath in and out. Stay here or add this right leg into it. So right knee comes out to the side in line with the hip. Flex the foot. You're looking for kind of 90-degree angles between the upper thigh and the calf, and then between the shin and the foot. A few breaths left here. And then leaving your left arm where it is, unwind the right hand. It comes underneath the right shoulder. And then lift up through this right hip to take you up and around into this twist. Arms can come out to a T. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, let it go. Again, a deep breath in. And exhale, let it go. You got 3 breaths left here. And then from here, you can just go ahead and unwind the rest of the way onto your back. Like to kind of shimmy back onto your mat, you're welcome to do that. And then on your back here, let's just allow the knees to fall from side to side a few times. So just releasing any tension in the lower back here. Allow the knees to fall from side to side and side to side. And once more, side to side. And then you can bring the knees towards the chest and then find like the floating butterfly. So soles of the feet together. You can grab the feet, draw them down towards the groin. Send the knees wide away from you. Breathing here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Releasing that feet to the ground, about hips width apart or a little wider. We're going to find constructive rest here. So just allow the knees to come together, and then you're just going to give yourself a little hug here. So either arm on top. We'll take 3 breaths and then switch arms. So inhale and exhale and inhale and exhale. And last breath here. And then just releasing the arms, a little hug again, Other arm on top. So this time, left arm on top. And 3 breaths again. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. And last one in. And out. From there, you can release your arms down by your side. Walk your legs out. Make your way into your Shavasana. If you're on your back, go ahead and tuck your shoulder blades underneath you. Make sure you're nice and supported. Release any tension in the hips, in the legs. Let's take a deep breath in. Inhaling in. And exhale, just sink a little more into the mat. Allow your inhales here to be nice and soothing. And your exhales releasing. Find some more stillness with your breath in. And a little more open with your exhale. I'll leave you here for a few moments in stillness. I'll let you know when it's time to move again. Can bring some movement back into your fingers and your toes now. Maybe extend your arms nice and long overhead, legs long. A little good morning stretch here. If you'd like to roll onto either side, you're welcome to do that. Cradle your head in your arms. Take a couple of breaths. And then from here, make your way up to a seat, any sort of comfortable seat. Hands can rest over the chest, sit up tall. You can tuck your chin. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope that this class has left you feeling a little more open, some less tension in your shoulders and your hips. Hope to see you again soon. Grace and peace. Bye.